All right, my friends, welcome back to Real Estate Bites. This is episode number 56, coming at you with real estate news, insights into the industry, and other fun things regarding real estate. So, here, episode number 56, what are we going to get into today? We're going to talk about one of the most asinine government policies that I've ever heard of in my lifetime. Really, I've made it a point to stay away from politics up until this point, but I can't ignore this one, guys. So I've got to talk about it. But before we do, let's have a little bit of fun. So this week's meme of the week is the definition of a real estate agent: a full-time psychologist who shows houses every now and then. Guys, I got to tell you, I've said this before in previous episodes of Real Estate Bites. I talk about this stuff to my team all the time. Being a real estate agent is truly an application in applied psychology. It really is a practice in applied psychology, because the emotions that we deal with, the perspectives that we deal with, people who are willing to sabotage themselves because of their emotions and trying to unravel all of that and keep people on a path directed towards their goals. It's absolutely incredible. Not to mention, there's so many different personalities and personality types out there, so many different, backgrounds that people come from. And you got to have some emotional intelligence. You got to have some emotional IQ. You got to know how to talk to people and how to relate to people. It is every single day a practice in applied psychology. And, for those of us who love it, and I am definitely one, that's what keeps this an exciting gig. That's what really gets me going. I love people. I love working with people. I love trying to figure people out. I love the negotiation side of this business, because it is very much how you can affect people's psychology during the course of a negotiation. And, for those of us who love it, this is one of the very best gigs that you could find. And for those who don't like to deal with that stuff, they're struggling. They're probably the ones who are struggling the most right now. Okay. So that's said, let's get into this week's topic. All right, guys. I saw this. This is not new. This idea is not new, right? Here's the title. Kamala Harris supports tax on unrealized capital gains, what it means for wealthy households. And I'm going to get into what it means for households in general. So I first heard President Biden talking about this a couple of years back. And honestly, at the time, I thought it was just pandering. I thought that he was looking to gain favor from his base. And that was the end of it. I never thought that this would be anything real. But now that it is an issue that Vice President Harris is running on, I'm terrified, guys. I'm terrified, because that means this is something that they really want to do to the American public. So let's talk about it. What are unrealized capital gains? Okay, let's say you got stocks, right? Let's define this first. Capital gains, that is the proceeds that you get, the profit that you get essentially from an investment. That could be real estate, that could be stocks, that could be bonds, whatever it might be. But if you buy something and it appreciates in value, and then you take those proceeds, you oftentimes will owe a capital gains tax on that. Okay. That said, realized capital gains are those are the proceeds after you have sold something that is appreciated in value, right? You buy a stock for $10, it appreciates to 15, you sell it, you have $5 of capital gains that you realized that you will be taxed on as income. Okay. So unrealized capital gains, what does that mean? That means that $5 in appreciation is an unrealized capital gain. until you sell it, right? Uh, and they want to tax you on an unrealized capital gains. Okay, let me back up a bit. So they're saying that this is only on the wealthy households, right? If you look down in here, they're talking about how this is only going to be a tax on the static wealth of households more than $100 million. First of all, static wealth, what the hell are you talking about? This giant hoard that the wealthy have sitting aside, that it's just static, doesn't move. They never did anything to earn that money and to put it away and to put it into use in their different investment vehicles. I mean, first of all, guys, I'm of the mindset that taxation is akin to theft. Okay. You work hard, you go to work all day, you bust your butt for an employer or whatever you're doing, and then they're going to come and take 25 to 30% out of your pocket before you even get to realize it. I mean, think about the money that, I don't know, if you're a W-2 employee, are you paying attention to the line items that are being taken out of your check every single month, every single paycheck? Those line items for Social Security, for federal withholding, all that stuff, and consider where it's going to. It makes me want to vomit when I have to write my quarterly checks every 3 months. It just pisses me off every single time. So they're already taxing you on your income. They tax you on every single thing that you buy. And they're going to tax you on your investments when you realize the gains from them. And now they want to tax you before you've ever realized the gains. Guys, an unrealized capital gain isn't really anything. It's theoretical, right? It's not a real capital gains. It's not real. Until you sell whatever that asset is, it's not real, okay? And yeah, they say it's only for these wealthy families, but listen, the federal income tax was reintroduced finally as permanent law in 1909. And at the same time, it was only supposed to be on the corporations. It only took 4 years till they extended income tax from just corporations, because it was only about taxing the rich. It was only about taxing the wealthy and those who could afford it. It took just 4 years, from 1909 to 1913, for the federal government to extend income tax from corporations to everybody, to nearly everybody. There were income limits, but basically they extended it from the rich throughout the middle class, and only the poor and destitute were free from paying taxes. Okay. Then in 1918, the Revenue Act of 1918 increased the tax collection from everybody who was levied, which is the middle class, in 1913. So it took 4 years to go from just the rich to the middle class. And then it took another 5 years to increase what they were collecting from the middle class. And you know why they got to do that, guys? And you know why they're going to do that here? Is because the rich and the wealthy, the people with households worth more than $100 million, okay, they have the wherewithal to hire a team of professionals that can help them figure out where in the tax code they can put their money so as to alleviate this tax burden. Right now, the tax code, the way it's written, it incentivizes certain sorts of investments or certain things that you might do with your money, right? So myself, I'm a small business owner, right? I'm a small business owner operator here in the state of Ohio. I get tax incentives for being a productive part of the state and federal GDP, right? Those tax incentives are what we call write-offs. I get to write off all my business expenses. Okay. Also, I own some rental properties. As a rental property owner providing housing for the public, there are also additional tax incentives for that. So when you hear about super rich people paying no taxes, it's because they have taken their money, they've hired CPAs and tax attorneys to show them where they should take their money and put it so that they receive those tax incentives, those tax benefits that are written into the code. Okay. That's not cheating. Okay. And that's not, it's perfectly legal. It's what the code was intended to provide. And if you don't think these households worth more than $100 million, the one percenters that are constantly under attack by politicians, who, by the way, own the souls of the politicians, who the politicians do their bidding. I'm sick of hearing politicians say they're going to take it to Wall Street and then pass another, quantitative easing type of legislation where Wall Street gets all the benefit and all the money. Anyways, they're saying they're going to tax just the super wealthy. It's BS, guys, because the super wealthy will not be paying enough into this new tax bill and structure to make a significant difference. So just like with federal income tax, that took 4 years to go from the wealthy to the middle class, and then another 5 years to increase what the middle class pays, and then another 24 years after that, they extended income tax to everybody, basically, and asked for even more money, okay? The same thing's going to happen here. The same thing would happen with a piece of legislation like this. Sure, it might start with just those over 100 million, and then it's going to take, 2 years before they realize that the plan that they already know wasn't going to work just by taxing. They say they're going to attack the rich with this to get everybody on board, to get all you people out there who hate rich people and think rich people with money and wealth are the evil of the world, and you just want to see them taken down. They're pandering to your vote to get you to support some garbage like this that will destroy the middle class once and for all in the United States of America. If this passes, it's only going to be a handful of years until it's extended to the middle class. And then if you and your employer have been pitching into that 401k or that IRA, and you've been waiting that that's going to be your retirement, say goodbye to it. Yeah, it's not going to go away, but it's not going to gain anything. It's not going to be worth anything. If they're taking 25% of your unrealized gains, that, first of all, your 401k, it's not even keeping pace with the market. It's not even keeping pace with the S&P or the Dow, because you're paying Edward Jones or Vanguard or whomever to move your money around. And every time they do, they're taking fees and commissions out of it. So your 401k never appreciates in pace with the markets. Okay. And then they're going to tax 25% of your unrealized gains. And you bet your ass, listen, if within their reporting period, which is not specified in this article or the other couple that I looked at, within their reporting period, which is probably going to be a fiscal year, right? A tax year, when you have to claim, and then they tax you on that, and you pay that tax on your unrealized gains. If after that, your asset loses value, because guys, markets are cyclical. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter if it's the price of gold, the S&P 500, or a piece of real estate you own. They're cyclical. They don't always go up. They go up and down and up and down and up and down. And when they go down, are they going to refund you any money? Hell no, they're not going to refund you any money. They're going to wait until it starts to appreciate again. And then after you've taken a hit on your assets and it starts to appreciate again, are they going to tax that again? Your 401k will be worthless. Your IRA will be worthless. This is a way to, this is how they eliminate economic mobility in the United States of America. For right now, anybody from any background, if you're willing to work hard and educate yourself and make smart decisions with your money, and we talk about investing a lot on here. I talk about it a lot on here because I want to see you good people out there grow your wealth. Your wealth is the freedom that you have is equal to the amount of wealth that you can grow in Western civilization. And until you grow a certain amount of wealth that gives you freedom to buy some of your time back, to be with family, to vacation or whatever, you're a wage slave, right? You're a slave to your job. And if you happen to love your job, God bless you. But there are many people out there who don't. And they show up every day and they're not happy, and they work really hard and they're still not happy, right? So we talk about wealth building here on Real Estate Bites because it's something I want everybody to consider. The more good people with more wealth in this nation, the stronger this nation. Okay? And this takes that away. It takes it all away, guys. This right now, again, if regardless of where you come from, if you're willing to work hard and make smart decisions with your money and make some smart investments, you can elevate yourself into a completely different tax bracket or class or whatever you want to call it. You can improve and grow your wealth and earn more freedom. And it's just a reality. That's the one thing that really makes this country beautiful, right, is the ability and the opportunity for everybody, okay, to start working hard, putting some money aside for the purposes of investing, educate yourself about those investments so you make smart investments and build your wealth. And that way you could do whatever you want. For me, my whole thing is I want to leave something for my children so that they don't ever have to worry about the struggles that their mother and I had when they were little. They don't ever have to worry about slamming those WIC coupons down the counter in the Giant Eagle for my formula or for, some cereal, and the shame that I felt throwing those food stamps down on the counter, just 14 years ago, right? I don't want them to have to deal with that. I want them to have that freedom. I want them to pursue whatever career they want, but if they also want to travel and experience different cultures and see this beautiful earth and the beautiful peoples who populate it and learn and become the most rounded, well-rounded, and educated young ladies that they can be, and also bring that gift to their families. That's everything that I work for. But if the government wants to tax me on my little, and it is little in comparison to what we're talking about here, it's super little. If they want to tax my unrealized gains on my little IRA, on my little crypto investments, on my handful of real estate properties, there's just no way I could grow my wealth. There's no way you could grow your wealth doing that. They will steal it right from you. They already steal 30% of your paycheck anyway. Why are they going to steal stuff that you don't even have in your pocket yet? You understand? If you have a 401k, I want you to open up your Schwab or your Vanguard or whatever account right now. Go ahead and click another tab open, take a look at it, and realize that thing, you could lose 50 to 60% in value tomorrow should there be a black swan event in the market crash. 50 to 60%. But they're not going to give you a refund if you lose that money. They're not. Right? How are they going to take money that you haven't realized yet? It's crazy. It's crazy to me. I can't believe I'm even reading this. I can't, in the United States of America. I can't. All right. I'm going to get off that. Let's step into this week's statistics. All right, here we go. Episode number 56 this morning. Again, if you're newer or haven't seen it in a while or haven't explained this in a while, all of these statistics come from the local MLS. MLS Now is the name of it. I'm a member of that MLS, and these are stats specifically from Lorain County. And while there are differences in, say, Lorain County, in Cuyahoga County, Lorain County, in Franklin County, it's still a pretty good sample size of exactly what's going on, not only throughout Northeast Ohio, but really the Midwest. There's this. You can also sort of extrapolate this to the entire country, but the dynamics are a little more extreme on the coasts. Values are higher, swings in value and stuff like that are definitely more extreme. But I would say throughout the heartland of the United States of America, Lorain County, to use Lorain County as a sample set is pretty applicable. So here we go. 414 single-family homes, including condominiums, but excluding mobile homes, were on the market as of this morning. You can see that inventory has gone up just a touch. We are still about a third of what we had 5 years ago at this time when it comes to inventory. It was almost 1,200 units at this time of the year in 2019. Okay, so inventory is still super duper low. Demand seems to be dropping. We had a big one last week. We had a big one a few weeks ago. This past week is a little telltale there. 66 units were sold last week. We are still in the height of the selling season, guys. Even though schools let back in and everything, we are still in the height of the selling season. 66 closings last week. I can tell you, I have been feeling like demand has been slowing down. I've seen homes, I'm listing houses that 6 months ago were a slam dunk, and this would have sold in a weekend, and they're sitting. Buyers are getting tired. They're getting wary. I don't know if the politics on display have anything to do with it. I think they may. I know a lot of people say they have everything to do with it. I don't know. But I think there's a lot of fear potentially regarding markets or economics in general, and people are waiting. I think people might be waiting since there's been new promise of interest rates coming down when the Fed goes to cut in September. I mean, they're talking about 3 to 4 cuts by the end of the year. So I think that has an effect on demand. People are waiting to see that come down before they make a move. But nevertheless, it's coming down. And, I saw this just yesterday that really affirmed this point for me. So pending home sales set a new record, but not in a good way. So we seen last month, or actually it was in June and then July, an all-time low in recorded sales for June and July of a year. So that is year over year, the all-time lowest ever recorded in those 2 months. That really indicates what's going on with demand. And I'm seeing it. I'm feeling it. I'm actually going to have a couple of my top agents on with me next week to talk about it a little bit, because they're seeing it, and we've been talking about it, and we're talking about what we can do to bring some more encouragement to buyers. So we'll talk about that more in depth next week. All right, back to these stats. So the median square foot value, and we use medians to eliminate outliers in the data set, but the median square foot value for homes sold last week was 1,676. You can see that median square foot value is pretty consistent. About 1,650 to 1,700 square feet is where we tend to end up. So median square foot value, about 1,700 square foot on average. The median value of homes sold last week was $270,950. Median square foot value, $167.02. That continues to stay strong. Median days on market was 15, which is an improvement over last week. And, we'll see again that this is a middle value. If I were to look at averages, they're higher. They're around 30. But this morning when I took a look, the interest rate for a 30-year conventional note was 6.41%. So another improvement over the week prior. I'm wondering if one or more of those anticipated Fed cuts has already been priced in with these interest rates that we've been seeing, because as you can see, 2 months ago, we were still at or above 7, and now we're sitting below 6.5. And then finally, the big sale of this past week was $769,000 in the city of Avon. And we'll take a look at that house right now. This is on Norton Place, 5-bed, 3.5 bath, 4,200 square feet on a half-acre lot. And take a look at this big beauty. Yeah, we'll scroll through here, and I'm going to continue on my rant from earlier. Guys, when I read articles about them wanting to dig deeper into our pockets, we are talking about having been hit with inflation. We're talking about, housing is unaffordable. We're talking about all the affordability problems that Americans have and have realized over the last 4 years And then they're going to talk about instituting a tax like this. And again, don't let them fool you. They sell it to you as a tax on the wealthy and on the rich, a tax on the 1%. It's not going to last. The 1%ers are going to figure out how to move their money around to avoid paying most, if not all, of that unrealized gains tax. And once they've done that, which won't take long, once they've done that, who are they coming after? They're going to come after the middle class, all right? They're going to come after you. They're going to come after me. And I don't know, guys. This one really, really bothers me. At any rate, that is a wrap on episode number 56 here of Real Estate Bites. I appreciate you guys, as always, coming back. Please share this one. You know, in my opinion, the subject of this episode might be more important than any other episode I've done in the previous 55, with the exception maybe of home security. You know, that's a very important topic to me. Wealth building, of course, is right up there, but this one is terrifying, and this one people need to know about. So please share this video with your friends and family. Get them to pay attention to it and think about it. Talk about it at dinner. Talk about it amongst yourselves. It's really, really important. And regardless of who wins in November, this thing needs to be squashed before it destroys the middle class in America once and for all. That being said, as always, take care of yourselves, guys. I love you, people.